Warning. This show contains naughty language, adult themes, and may contain mentions of... Listener discretion is advised. The church is not affiliated with or endorses this show in any way.
Huh?
This episode is about getting to know us. I put a fart bomb underneath the fat chick's chair.
Ah! God, I hate to say this. I hate to be honest about this.
Ghostbusters 2 is better than Ghostbusters 1. We are still into our jokes and we are still crass. We are still rude. He ain't that gay.
Sexual deviants.
He started banging on the door. Then we said, come out wherever you are.
Why did you do that?
Because we were bored. Drummer, what's the
You're Gilbert Gottfried.
That's the Wilhelm
for a
Scream.
few
Yeah.
days.
Huh?
No, I can't do it. I can't hit that octave.
Yeah, you can't hit it.
Ah! There.
No,
Ah!
still can't do it. Still can't do it.
You actually did it pretty good.
It was close.
Ah!
You know who
It's
that
kinda that, yeah.
was, right?
That was
No, I don't remember the
Cartman
history on it. I
who
know
got
it was
drunk.
a thing that...
It was the guy who sang the one-eyed, one-hearted, flying purple
Welcome to the
people
shit
eater.
show.
It was that
No
guy,
way.
Cheb
Pleasure,
Woolley.
Thanks, man.
Chet
He-
Woolley sounds like a boner.
That would be Chub Woolley.
This makes no sense.
Matt, what were you eating under there?
What? Underwear. Yeah,
Welcome to Monkey Goo and Other Delights. We are supposed to be grown up by now, but we are still
not.
telling ass jokes.
Yep, that
Ass
happened.
eating jokes.
Okay, we're
I want a
okay.
good introduction.
One of my best
We're gonna try
friends,
one.
when I met him, I was you know what a poser is?
You guys were the beginning of Napoleon Dynamite, basically.
Yeah,
Like,
We became
bad.
friends in junior high school. My cousin
For
from
3
Alabama came to visit me. This guy was like 30 years old. My cousin Tim, I was like, what, like 11? And he went to the joke store and he bought
Where the hell is
fart.
Tim?
Tim bought fart bombs. I discovered as a kid that if you break one of these in the Vaughn store, the fire department will be called. There was 3 in a pack. I had 2 stink bombs left. I decided to bring it to school. And I was sitting next to James here. And I pointed out to him that I have a stink bomb. And we shared a equal dislike for this overweight lady who was in our 7th grade class.
I think she took the view of the teacher. We couldn't see the teacher.
We will call her because that was her name.
That was her
We will not change the name to protect the innocent because is a fat girl's name. So me and James were in this science class. We're in a science class with the teacher's name was Miss.
Okay,
And-
you just fucked that up.
Miss. She also did the PE class. Now Miss weighed about 300 pounds, which
Still hit it.
which no.
Still hit it, man. Go ahead.
It always confused me why a 300-pound teacher would be teaching physical education. So what
You're a fucking fat PE teacher. We get it, but I think
What
the irony
me and-
is the point.
what I did while James went was I put a fart bomb underneath the fat chick's chair. So me and James were sitting in our seats like good little church boys, and then came in and sat down, and we heard a.
Okay.
And we started giggling and laughing. We were punched in the face by this smell. This smell of like dead mice. This smell of rotten flesh. The entire class went, oh my God, what is this? Like, this is the worst shit ever.
Not even kidding.
And me and James,
Still do it.
we
Not
were
even
laughing our asses off while
That's how we met.
That's fucking awesome.
while everybody was covering their faces and going, we need to leave. And me and him were like Beavis and Butthead going, Miss stood up and went, who did this? The entire class.
She sounds like Mrs. Jokes on Dick from South Park.
The entire class pointed at me and James
Yeah,
because
pointed
we
at
were the only 2 laughing.
We could still laugh at it. It was so
I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to. I'm so trying not to. I'm trying to keep my mouth shut. I can't do it.
We didn't have to admit to it. They told us we did it.
They're telling me no fart and dick jokes, and I'm like trying to shut my mouth the whole time.
Anyway, the funny thing is,
We got sent to the principal's office. This episode is about getting to know us. The number one thing that I read was like introduce yourself to the audience. And I don't think that it's quite happened yet with us. When I make a new friend, and that's what our audience is right now. They are new friends. My number one question is is this. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, are you talking about favorite movies? God, I hate to say this. I hate to be honest about this.
Oh, fucking
Bring it on.
Yep, I knew it.
Bring
I
it
knew
on.
it. It's Bring It On. You love Bring It On more than anything, dude.
Yeah, I
if
do.
it ever comes
Wait,
on FX
the
movies,
cheerleader?
Yes,
Yeah,
that
that's
cheerleader
the
movie.
thing.
He watches that movie like a fucking drug
It's
addict.
my catcher on the rye.
When
Bring
you
it on.
said bring it on, I thought you meant bring the question on. I didn't think that was your real answer.
that
I
is.
was like, all right, give me
Bring it
your
on.
You're like,
Usual
bring it on. I
suspects.
was like, yes, do
There
it.
it
Give me
is.
your answer. You're
I
like,
make
bring
no
it on. I was
sense.
like, yes. James, as a honorary other delight,
What's your favorite movie?
what is your favorite movie?
Oh, it's such a hard question.
It is, right?
It's a really hard.
It's a very personal
Oh,
question,
God, are you
too.
gonna talk forever like me?
Very hard question. I think the film of all films that I really, really love is A Bronx Tale.
Oh,
I don't know if my
Yeah.
favorite film can beat that one.
Queer.
Oh, you
I
might have changed it. You might have
I haven't
changed
seen
my
it.
mind.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
you've never seen A Bronx Tale?
Oh my
No,
god.
Oh,
Who
you gotta
are you?
educate
You guys
yourself.
just
right?
harmonized. Oh my God.
Wow. It's like Robert De Niro's story.
Dude, oh, that's pretty cool.
Was it like
Yeah.
being in a
Robert De
church?
Niro's
I'm not saying-
Oh
I'm
my
not saying-
god.
Oh,
With him and the
my-
mob and all that
Oh
stuff.
my God.
But you know what? Honestly, gotta see that son of a bitch. That is like.
So you figuring out what's it about,
Yeah,
man?
it's pretty much Robert De Niro's story about how he was younger and he had ties, or the big mafia, or whoever they were, lived up the street, and he admired them and loved them, and he wanted to be like them, and he ended up becoming friends with the main dude, the main mob guy,
Sonny.
Sonny, and and so his dad was like, stay away from them. They're no good. They're gonna bring you down. And then so pretty much, a lot of the stories about the interaction of them. Now there's also a part where the main kid ends up falling in love with a black girl. And back in those days, that just didn't happen. If you're Italian and you fall in love with the black girl in the Bronx,
oh, shit.
it's not appreciated at all. You're not going to get any respect, and he goes to the guy that he really respects, Sonny, the main mob guy, and the main mob guy, if you love the girl, screw all these other people, you know what I mean? Go with where your heart is, and he's like, this lifestyle that you so much love and want to be a part of, it's not for you, get your education, don't try to live your life on the streets. So it's kind of a weird breakdown of it.
So on to my favorite fucking movie.
Wrong.
All right, so Matt.
I wanna say that.
So Matt.
It sounds
Do you
interesting.
wanna say
I really
something?
wanna
What
see
is
it.
yours?
I want to say
I was
something
kidding
about this.
completely. Yeah,
By the way,
yeah, I'll
I do
shut
want to say
up. Yeah.
De Niro. You know what? He did what he did. And you know what? He was in love with what he was in love with.
Yes.
And that was the key. And he always stuck to he was in love with it. Who he was. And Rosario?
So Matt.
I want to hand that off.
You're fucking crying
like,
again, dude.
spell.
Sean, you are crying
Sean's
again.
got a lot of emotions.
Oh, God, I did.
Like
you an actor?
honestly,
Oh, I'm not good at this.
what is going on
I'm
with you?
horrible.
It's actually bad.
Like you've like gone on
I
this
can
like,
do it.
Like, he talked about Rosario. Well, not Rosario, but
Were you
De Niro.
thinking about Rosario's culo?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd be like, De Niro, thank you. Like, that was awesome.
For her
Oh,
culo.
hell, God. Like, that would be a crutch. I'd be like, hello?
Alright, so
Okay.
so
That's
Matt,
good. I'm kidding.
in order to
Wait,
introduce
Matt's over here.
introduce
Over
you.
there. Over there.
Well, no. I've
Over there.
Oh, God.
sometimes when I'm talking to you, I can't look at you because I have to be pointed into the direction of the fucking microphone.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were
get it.
autistic.
Like when we first got together, our first question was, and I'm gonna hope you guys did a little bit of research on this
We actually
topic.
have someone who
because-
like, someone we're supposed to like.
We're gonna do what they call a callback. Have you guys actually been able to figure out one Traci Lords movie that's not a porn?
Fuck.
Yes. Zack and Mary Make a
God damn it
Porno.
again.
Was she in that?
Yeah, she was in Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
Really?
She was
Thank
also
you.
in like The Pretender, the television series that was on for a while, or something like that.
Are you missing Highlander?
She was on fucking Highlander.
She was
Yeah,
on
she was.
Highlander, dude. She was
She was on
amazing on
Highlander.
Highlander. She was also in Stephen
Oh,
King's
God.
The Tommyknockers.
We're not talking about Tracy Lawrence.
So can I say
Because
my
that
favorite
is my
movie?
thing.
Can
Yeah,
I
I
say
just
my
wanna know.
fucking
Oh,
favorite
God.
movie? Anyway, my favorite fucking movie. I can't jerk off to that. My favorite fucking movie is a Jason Mantzoukas joke. I can't steal that from him without giving him a shout out. That's a Jason Mantzoukas joke. He does a great podcast called How Did This Get Made? But I like you, man. I'm not gonna steal your joke without
Don't
giving you a
put me
shout
next
out.
to the person who you're
But here's the deal. My favorite movie is Ghostbusters. My favorite movie is Ghostbusters.
Nice.
The best.
Ghostbusters.
Okay, it started out. Here's why. I watched it as a child.
So-
I was.
So far you win, but go ahead.
I was. It's also Seth. Seth. Not Rogen. Seth Rogen. It's his favorite film too, and I felt really connected to him when I was about 25 as an improv comic. Because when I was really young, I remember watching the cartoon. Then I was about 2.5. My earliest memory is that someone told me Ghostbusters wasn't just a cartoon; it was a movie. That's when almost all life clicked for me.
How old are you?
I'm 30,
Right?
I was 2.5. I was basically a baby. It's my earliest memory, guys.
With
I'm
the
not kidding, for
Legend of
earliest
Bill Murray.
memories. So then I wanted only. Then I remember wanting only Ghostbuster toys, only wanting Ghostbuster little
The car.
the car, and the firehouse toy,
Yeah.
and all of it. I remember my whole childhood based on Ghostbusters, and I kept watching Ghostbusters the movie. So I grew up emulating
I would have hated you as a kid.
Pete Venkman. I grew up emulating Bill Murray, thinking this is the
Oh, Bill
pinnacle
Murray's
of a
the
human
best.
being. Bill Murray to me is who I modeled my young persona off of. I modeled more than my father, who was sort of absentish, not because of his own fault,
I
because
totally
a lot
understand.
of because of my mom, but
Yeah.
and then
Don't
my
we
dad,
all?
my mom,
Cheers.
who was sort of my best friend always, but never my mom as good as she could have been my best friend, and that came with great things and bad things. But I swear, dude, this Ghostbusters helped build me. And I watched this movie, and it also happens to be a film that came out of nowhere, that was once the brainchild of a bunch of great writers, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and all these really great writers who came together to I think it was just them two, actually. Fuck.
They wrote it.
They wrote it together,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was this really fun film they wrote together, and it came out of nowhere. And they went to all these interdimensional things because actually Dan Aykroyd is very into the ethereal. He's almost as very much Ray Stantz. He really is Ray Stantz. A little less innocent these days, but by my take. But the man is a really interesting guy. Dan Aykroyd. He makes really good vodka, by the way. Look into that.
Oh wait,
But
that's not.
he
a
does.
Thing.
That's Dan Aykroyd makes great vodka. He makes the most amazing
Really?
vodka on the planet, apparently. According
not
to
a
science, he has a scientific method for making vodka. My love for these
God.
characters in this
That's
cast
not a thing.
and these writers goes so deep. I know a lot of history
Thank
about them.
you,
I know
Venkman.
about their vacations these days. Harold Ramis, rest in peace. Bill Murray, you were one of the most influential
Oh yeah.
and also poignant human beings I've ever encountered, even via proxy. What you said about death, and if you ever listen to this, you know what you said about death, and or not about death, but the end of your life, and what you wished for yourself, that you would remain present and cognizant. So the reason Ghostbusters is my favorite film, though, besides all the things I mentioned about my childhood, is that it really holds up to me as a comedic example and a really a writing exercise example in how can we create a world, and also an example in the industry and how your world, once you create it, changes. Because originally Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis took it to heights that no budget could afford in the 1980s, and then they scaled back. And when they scaled back on it, they said, how do we ground this, and how do we make it more budgetable and palatable? And they created a film out of thin air that was so original yet so integral to my childhood and to my experience as a young sentient human being, man. It was really, I don't know, I love that film. It's funny. How about it's called? It's funny. It's really fucking funny.
It is. It's a great film.
Oh, that's a great movie. What do you
Oh,
think about
yeah.
part 2, though?
Funny,
It wasn't
but really cool
really good,
continuation
too.
of the story, but didn't have a good story because it felt like an episode in television that wasn't quite finished.
When I was a kid,
But it was,
I,
I still enjoyed it.
Cartoon was the
you know?
shit.
Yeah.
when I was a
Cartoon was
kid,
the shit.
I hated Ghostbusters 2. But recently, I just recently watched it.
It's a little scary, actually.
I have learned
scared of the
to
movie.
appreciate it. I in
The
some
notion
ways
of it.
think
A city
Ghostbusters
taking
2.
over itself through angry emotions. Like
Ghostbusters 2 is in some ways better than Ghostbusters 1. But I'm a huge fan of the television show Joey, so I don't know how much my opinion holds weight. Supermarket worker
but I do
extraordinaire, caterer to the stars. Matt.
Yes, yeah, I cater at a local grocery store. I won't say which because they wouldn't like it, but there are movie stars, not grocery
You
stars.
okay with your dyslexia?
So anyway, yeah, I do that. I cater to.
Well, this is our second
actual
show
stars.
recorded tonight.
There.
Now we are at the end of our night, and I decided, what a great time to start a new show. We are gonna
We're
get
in
through
this
this.
together.
So James,
Okay.
Yes.
we are about to embark on a new podcast.
Yeah,
We actually have guests lined up, right?
we do.
We do.
We have quite a few.
All right, so I don't care about that right now. What I care about is you. You do a lot of acting.
I do. I love
You do
that.
you do improv. You do acting. I've seen you in a play. I've seen you in many things.
Almost as long
You've
as
been
it
doing
takes,
this
Not
for
a
a
whole
while.
lot.
Still
That's
into
Makes no sense.
we are still into our dick and fart
On
jokes,
this
and we are still
particular
crass. We are still
podcast.
rude.
My bubble.
But I think through listening to a couple episodes of ourselves,
like a lost baby.
Yes.
And
Like
you
a baby
guys-
gorilla.
Like a
Watch
baby
it.
gorilla
Watch it.
left on the front steps
Making him
of a wayward jungle
Totally
firehouse.
I'm making you
you know what?
uncomfortable, but I'm
Hold
making
on,
you
hold on, hold on,
more
hold on.
uncomfortable.
we're about ready to spank the moop. I don't think we've
called you
actually
Moop?
referred to you as
We
Moop
haven't.
yet.
This is the first.
We have not
I
referred to you as
to him in the
Moop.
last episode as Moop, but we didn't explain the story of Moop. Should we get into that before we jump
No,
into the meat of
because
the
that's a
podcast?
drug
or-
story. We do
My
not need to
nickname
go into
was
that.
a meep.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
we don't
like
need to go into
where
Moop.
are we talking about?
Meep
this?
and
We
Moop.
do
so.
not need to go into Moop.
We're gonna spank
Moop?
the Moop. Spank the Moop.
Sean, you just lied to our audience. You told them you had to piss when you didn't for a humorous bit.
You son
One
a
of the
bitch.
things we don't do is
I
we're
do have to pee.
well then go fucking piss.
No.
No, you just
We
go
call
in.
him. He said he had to be. He doesn't have to be. He feels like he's gonna.
Did
could
you
pee.
just pee? Because you're sitting in my chair, sir.
I'm touching his
Not yet.
testicle right now,
Not yet.
and it was
All
oddly
right.
spongy.
If you have to pee,
And I
go
don't know how
pee.
that
Otherwise,
detects whether
I'm
or not he
gonna
needs
call
to pee,
call
but I
you
did it.
out, and I'm just gonna say we don't lie to our audience. We don't.
He
We
lied
don't
him.
lie
He
to our
said-
audience.
Well, he sort of did.
Now,
it's a gray area.
If you have to
Okay,
pee,
Trump
Gray area.
administration.
if you have to pee, well,
I got it, but I don't have to.
He should pee, but he's fine with kidney damage. Let's just continue the fucking.
all right,
podcast.
fair enough. Okay,
All right.
But dude,
So-
like no bit is worth lying to the audience. Wait until you have to go
My
pee
dick's
and
19
then
inches
do the
long.
bit.
I'm gonna hit your bathroom hard.
I shit in your bathroom
Wait.
I'm
tonight.
telling you after right now.
Like, what is it with you guys? Like,
You don't.
you shit in my
I
bathroom the
might
first
have
two
to take a
shows.
dump.
You shit in my bathroom this
I
show.
might have to.
I actually
Like-
want to chime in here. Hold on. I want to chime in here. Sometimes humans have to shit.
But sometimes
It might
humans
be a
know that
thing.
they're going out and shit beforehand.
No, dude, I really can't control my bowels. My bowels are bad, and I have irritable bowel
This is the
too on
thing.
top of dyslexia.
I
I don't know
might
if they're
have to
related. I
drop
don't think they
one.
are. But I think what happened was I ate a
Consistently-
Chipotle.
Wait. You have dyslexic irritable bowel syndrome, so you took a tish?
I took a tish and I shit backwards. I shit inside of my nostrils, and it was epic. I was actually okay with
At
it.
least I walk in there
That's
and
why I
take
have
a
a-
leak, and I go, "Hey, I gotta take a dump." And
You never said I gotta take a dump. The first
Well,
time you're
the
like,
first
I
time
gotta
it
go
was
pee,
not.
and I
Well,
was
dude,
like,
have you
go,
ever-
brother.
Hold on. Oh, dude, have you ever taken a pee and then been like, holy shit, I gotta poop? His
It
name
happens.
is Moop. It rhymes, okay? Moop,
I
Moop
did.
to
I had to.
poop. Moop to
I'm
poop.
not gonna walk outside.
It's okay.
And I'm not gonna say, "Hey, Trevor."
By the way, I'm now going
By
to
the
take
way,
a shit in your
now I'm
bathroom.
taking a
So
dump.
this is actually supposed to be our growing up show
It's
where
not.
where we
It's
get
not.
over
I don't know if it's ever
happened.
dick and fart jokes,
No,
and
bro,
we
I don't know
have
if that's ever gonna
we
happen.
have completely
Still
circled
happened.
around talking about the same
Oh, no.
I'm
thing.
pretty sure this is just
You know,
us,
these
man.
are things we
Yeah.
should not have on
Well,
tape.
But here's
No.
here's the deal. So getting into should I get into it? All right. So here's the thing. Our friend Trevor here loves Stephen King. Sean moderately enjoys Stephen King.
Oh shit, we are
King.
doing Stephen King. Okay,
I'm a
cool.
Stephen King.
Excellent. Go
I'm
ahead.
a bit of a Stephen King hater.
I am.
Not in his concepts. I
Well, I'm a
love his concepts.
fan.
Okay, I know.
Hold on.
Got hell with
I
him.
love his
Hold on.
concepts.
I'm gonna
Love you,
test.
Steven.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna test you real fast. What does Stephen King call his fans?
Faggots.
Bitches.
You're not that big of a fan.
Because they keep reading the fucking shit.
Huh?
Bitches. They keep reading the shit.
That joke needs to work itself out a little bit better.
But it's makes
We're gonna
sense.
do that joke again, and you're gonna do it better. I promise you.
You can't use that word just like I have to say a instead of
I can say "ne" and or "ga." I ain't afraid of no ghosts, but sometimes I walk on the other side of the street. I mean, it just happens.
Thank you for being the best editor ever.
Dude, thanks, man. So,
Yeah.
so let's get into Stephen King, guys.
Alright,
We were talking about it one week, and we never really got to get back into it because we got off on a tangent. But
Uh-oh.
here's my thing with Stephen King. Okay, I think he comes up with amazing concepts, but he doesn't quite know how to execute them verbally in text. And here's the problem: is that he goes on for 60 pages for some chapters. I think. I'm
Someone
not
who
sure.
talks for like 18 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's talking, and someone might find that interesting.
Alright, so
but
Matt,
no one finds it interesting when you talk for 40 for a normal person. It's like maybe 30 minutes of your life reading his 19 pages, one chapter. For me, for a dyslexic, it's like reading for 45 fucking minutes. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? Just end the chapter. Stop talking about. And it's stereo instructions. He doesn't eloquently string words together like Bret Easton Ellis or Chuck Palahniuk or a female
Dean
writer
Koontz.
who I've never read.
Awesome.
Dean Koontz apparently also writes well.
John Saul hates kids.
John Krasinski's
hates
children.
kids.
I don't know. Anyway,
Teenagers, mostly.
so here's my thing about Stephen King, man, is he drones on too long for me, and also it's not interesting when he drones on because the words don't sound good together. So instead of like writing a poem when he writes, or a semblance thereof, instead he just sort of drones the fuck on talking, and it's not well put together. And so you get the topiary scene as a classic example in The Shining.
can I stop you for 1 second
you
and
can.
tell you why I personally disagree with you and how I know it's a fact I disagree with you?
It is a
So-
fact you disagree.
so
It's not a fact that he's a bad writer. We just have opinions.
You say he drones on and on and on and on and on and on. Now I read
That might be hypocritical of me. I'm not sure.
I read this. I read The Stand when it was a 900-page book. And it was one of the best books I've ever read because he went on and on and on and on about his descriptions, and it brought me into the world. Now, when
Maybe I got to read more of his stuff. But,
when he re-released it with 500 more pages put in,
shit.
that his editor said, dude, you're going on and on and on and on, and like you need to cut some shit out. He did it for that book. But then later on, he became Stephen King and said, you're putting it back. And he added like something like 500 pages back. I bought the book the day it came out, and I read it cover to cover because it was even more descriptive. So you saying he's too descriptive breaks my heart.
You know what? It's not that he's too descriptive. It's that his descriptions aren't interesting to me. They aren't well worded or poetically worded to me. They don't sound like a sort of music to me. Whereas there are several writers that sound like music to me, and I can't put their books down. And it's not even about the length of the chapters or a lack thereof or an excess of. It's about the fact that I don't like his stereo instruction style of writing. And that to me is how I feel about him. And the topiary scene in The Shining is perfect to me. Everyone told me before I read that book,
brother.
The topiary scene is the fucking scariest scene. It's the scariest shit ever. This shit'll fucking make your arm, the hair on your arm stand up. The hair on my butthole barely stopped recoiling when I read that shit. I read that shit. I waited fucking like 90 chapters or whatever the fuck it was to get to that fucking chapter with the topiaries, and he was like, so Jack, like, he was walking into the topiaries, and like some of the topiaries were lions, and like some of them were goats, and like one of them was like a minotaur and like a goat lion, and so you know what they did when he turned around? Like, you know what they did? They moved a little. And then he turned back around and he was like, holy shit, did those move? And then he was like, nah, maybe not. But then he turned back around and he was like, holy fuck, I think they moved a little. Then he turned back the fuck around, and then he was like, oh, holy shit, I think those topiaries moved. And then he turned, and then he walked a little more, and holy fuck, guess what the fuck happened? You'll never guess what the fuck happened. Paris Hilton sucked a dick. No, the topiaries moved.
And that's happy with that movie.
Dude, no, I love the movie. The movie didn't include the topiaries. and it could have done it well because Kubrick made that movie. Stephen King writes fucking stereo instructions. It's not hair
The only movie
raising.
he was happy with was fucking It. The newest It, he actually literally enjoyed watching it.
No, he
That's
was happy
great.
with
And
Green
that
Mile.
movie didn't
Stand
scare
By
me
Me.
at
Didn't
all.
enjoy watching that.
Well,
And
no,
you, as a
because it
literary
wasn't his
writer,
book.
You don't
It wasn't
enjoy,
his book.
Yeah, it
The
wasn't his
book was about alcoholism, and it was about
he
the
watched
slow
it,
descent
that
into madness.
second
Well,
one,
I think the
and he
movie
goes,
captured
"That
that
made
slow
my
descent
shit
into madness much better.
fucking
Jack-
jump.
Jack started out
Be nimble.
already
He
insane.
did.
Jack started
Jack
out
is awesome.
already insane. He already had the eyes going, and he was already like,
Well,
in
that's because
the
Kubrick used
book.
every cut Jack Nicholson didn't want to
The
use.
book The Shining was like Breaking Bad,
It's
where
awesome.
they took Mr. Chibbs and turned him into like a really bad
Dude,
guy.
I didn't think
But
that.
how would you be
I
as a
thought-
literary person and go, honestly, I don't enjoy watching that. And then you come around fucking 20, 30 years later and you see It and you go, holy
I
crap.
thought the first It was an awful movie.
The
No, the
first
first
It-
one. Sorry, with what's his name?
How dare you?
Tim Curry was great.
Tim
Oh,
Curry is
okay,
awesome.
okay,
Curry's great.
thank
Don't-
God.
I thought that- I was about to-
Oh.
You're
I thought
about
the
to
new
get hit,
It.
motherfucker.
I thought
No,
the
I'm
new
just
It.
kidding.
I know, bro. You might hit me.
I was
I
gonna
thought the
give you
new
a
It.
machete.
It's my
Not
fault.
yet.
It's my fault. I made him angry. But
Don't.
I
Tim
thought
Curry's
the new
coming
It.
back.
Hold on. I thought the new It was such horseshit. The new It I saw, not the sequel, but the first one.
Did you read the book?
I didn't, but I thought the new It was such horseshit.
He
I
loved
wasn't
it.
scared. But hold on, man.
First time.
I wasn't scared at all. It was like it was over CG'd, and it wasn't freakier at all. It was just, hey, now we're gonna show you a scary thing, and I'm like, well, thanks for showing me it in full on fucking lighting.
Oh my god,
Like, it was
that
bullshit.
was
You
Your
had
awesome.
ex-girlfriend thought it was a scary movie. Me and your ex-wife, who were dating at the time, long story, guys. Watched it. Tune in next week.
We
Later
have
on.
some Jerry Springer
Later on.
stuff going on.
Jerry Springer.
He's my
Look,
best
look,
friend.
Jerry Springer,
Him and his wife were
Maury,
getting
like
along.
we got a whole
Who
bunch
would
of
you
different shows
rather-
scrambled.
Your best friend who grows up with kids, or some
Would you?
guy
Let's play.
you would
Let's
never.
play. Would you rather? Fuck, marry, kill. Myself, Trevor, or Sean. Fuck, marry, kill. Please
Yep.
comment.
I
Anyway,
guess
we're gonna
I'd
move
rather-
on from that right now.
I guess I'd rather kill myself so I don't have to fuck or marry either of you.
What is your favorite parking space?
My favorite parking space is the one right behind your mom's house.
My favorite parking space is the one right behind his mom's ass, but
And you, sir? James?
The
Tell your mom
handicap
to-
spot?
Oh, there it is.
Do
There it
you,
is.
Oh, I had
Oh.
one of those once.
Yeah, I tried that.
Oh,
do you
bad
park in
joke.
handicapped spaces so you can watch handicapped people make
By
handicapped faces?
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah.
That's all we needed for those 3 turns.
Oh.
God,
That's where we do that joke.
kicks ass.
That is where we do
Oleo,
that joke.
oleo, oleo.
Oh, God.
So I got a question, man.
What's your question?
Do you have a favorite fruit? And by that I mean a homosexual person.
Richard Simmons.
No, but I do work alongside of them, and they do scare me.
You were alongside of them?
Yeah, I work in West Hollywood.
Wow. That's
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
fuck with the shit.
That's okay. Hey,
He doesn't know about me yet.
That's okay.
And-
He doesn't know about me.
There is one that freaks me out.
One of them. I get it, man.
He's in transition to be a woman.
Oh, okay.
I hate those people. I love those people.
Come on.
That was
Stop.
funny.
You know what's really
I'm not
funny?
going to
You said
mention his
those
name, but
people.
he freaks me
Yeah,
out.
You said
he was
those
saying
people.
them. He straight up said them, so I just.
No, I
went
get
with
it.
the flow.
The transgender
You can
thing is
say
a
those
hard
people
thing.
to me, and
Look,
I'll...
man, I'm LGBTQ, bro.
In honor of Fresh
You're what?
Prince,
I'm
we'll call him
LGBTQ.
Carlton.
I'm part of the LGBT community.
Are you the L, the G, the
That's
B, or
a
the
thing.
I'm the B, man. I'm the B. I'm bisexual. I've had
Okay.
boyfriends, girlfriends. I've had the whole gamut. I've done all kinds of shit. I've done a lot of things.
Okay.
Dude, you are 2 out of 5 on the Kinsey scale.
I'm a 2 out of 5. on the
You
Kinsey
are
scale.
not
Fuck,
as
I'm
gay
a
as
guy.
you think you are according
But
to
I'm
science.
not
You
as-
don't come across as, right?
I'm more
I don't
gay
come
than
across, I
you.
guess, yeah, but
You know what sound that
He
is?
claims to
I'm
be
literally
you're
gay.
than you.
You're a
We
bigger
took
faggot.
a test.
That's
The
half of
test
my word,
said
by the
he's
way.
not
That's
as
half
gay
my
as he
word.
I'm
said.
a git and
But
a
dude, no,
thought.
but based on what I've done, the Kinsey,
not.
the Kinsey,
The tests
Q&A,
don't lie. The tests don't
Actually, that was not
lie.
a scientific test at all. The Kinsey
It's
scale
a
test is not
it's
a
a
test.
non-scientific scientific
It's not a
test.
scientific
It's
test.
not
It's a
even
questionnaire.
It's a
That
non-scientific
decided that if
scientific
you answer
test.
certain things, that makes you gay or not gay, or this much bi or this much
It
not
was
bi.
written in the 70s.
By
It
a
should
dude who's
still be
super
true,
wrong
right?
and his research partner who
No,
was a man
it's
while he
science.
was married.
It's science.
That's not science.
Science
That's
hasn't
not
changed
science,
since
because
the
Kinsey,
70s.
Kinsey was a bisexual,
Look,
was
here's
a
a fact.
pansexual
okay.
pioneer, and he was a pansexual who was curious
What's
about
a
his own...
pansexual?
Pansexual is anybody that likes anything, sort of. I don't think he really liked anything. He was questioning.
I thought a
everything.
pansexual was
tried
you
to
can't tell what
and
I
he
am.
was really curious about asking questions about sex. So what he did as a grad student is he decided to, as a professor actually, he decided to create a survey of questions that sort of gauge and do a series of interviews. The Kinsey interviews were some of the most interesting things. His questionnaire was this blatant questionnaire, scale of 1 to 10, how gay or straight or bi are you? Or curious are you?
Most uncomfortable interview ever.
Then he went to...
He rates a 2 out of 5.
just
He ain't that
having
gay.
interviews
He ain't
with
that gay.
Sexual deviants. He just had these interviews with sexual deviants.
You're not that
It became
gay.
really uncomfortable for him once when he had an interview with a pedophile. And the pedophile talked about his activity with young boys, and it really made him uncomfortable. He ended the interview, and he decided not to include him in his research because he just thought it was too deviant and too disgusting. And this it was a really fucked up
okay?
thing. Yeah, man, I'm fine. Fine. I'm
Right.
just talking about some heavy shit. Some dude fucking diddling dudes that got questioned by another dude who didn't want to talk about what this dude did. Because he didn't want to present his research because that's how bad that dude did to the other little dudes.
Okay, little kitty, come over here.
Oh, man, that's not a...
Yeah,
kitty,
no.
kitty.
Kitty.
There's a cat.
It's a cat.
A cat walked up, and he said, come on, little kitty, come over here. And I'm like, no, not
not
now.
a kitty.
We don't say that now.
Stop playing
This
with a
man's
pussy.
fucking religious. We don't say that kind of shit.
I'm just holding the cat.
When I think of
'Cause
Kitty,
you just
I think
made
of
me
Anne
very
Frank.
uncomfortable.
When I think of Kitty, I think of Sunsetville.
Nice.
Oh, damn.
The
you-
cave.
When I think of kitty, I
Oh,
think
the
of this
cave,
one
yes,
alley
kitty.
in Washington.
Never mind. We're not going to talk
Okay.
about Washington.
Kitty was like mine and James.
I think of KY
Kitty was
and the
our
kitty.
personal
Yeah.
stripper.
That was my
Yeah, she was
man.
our favorite stripper. Kitty.
Oh, Kitty.
KY and the kitty.
Oh,
My favorite
Don't
yeah.
get
band.
me started in, okay, the cat's
Seventh
coming over to
Veil.
you.
Oh, come
Cat's
on.
coming
I want
over
this
to you
kitty
again. Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's the first time you've ever said I don't want this pussy on me. What happened today?
No, the other night where I was retarded, we walked away.
Yeah, you guys straight up like walked out of a podcast.
We were a
You
little
like,
too
like,
retarded.
like,
on.
we
Oh
were-
yeah, they're the ones
Dude,
that went to get the cigarettes and never came
Yep.
back.
We were
Yeah, we tried that.
Nice.
Never happened.
Cigarettes and a carton of milk, and we never saw our kids again.
back to the show.
No, I found them.
we were in the middle of a conversation, and
Oh,
then
God.
like I look up and you guys are fucking gone.
We're gone, man.
And I'm
We're
like,
super gone.
where
We're
did
not there
Matt and
anymore.
Sean go? Like, where did my
You guys were
co-host?
talking.
My co-host
They're
for the
talking.
show.
That was great.
Where did they
Serious
go?
Conversation.
He
Me
was
and him were
talking with our
shit.
guests, and it just went on. There was no word in edgewise. They were just having such an interesting conversation, and went the whole time. We never really talked. We didn't feel part of it, so we kind of just got up and left. But we sort of forgot that we were going to come back, and we went to get
Oh, that's
cigarettes. We
hilarious.
thought, okay, we're going to get cigarettes. We'll come back. They'll talk their stuff out. We even talked about it. They'll talk their stuff out. Then we'll come back, and we'll talk about everything in the show, and our stuff will be inclusive and funny, and talk about topics instead of just two friends talking, which isn't bad. It just wasn't. It was two friends talking. We couldn't be involved in that, so we left on those pretenses.
Tammy and Jason
We
could
left
have-
on that. We left on that platform.
No, actually,
we approached the liquor store on the
I
pretenses
looked
we were
at
just trying to get a
Peterson.
pack of cigarettes and leave.
I didn't
And then we
realize
walked across the street to the
Tammy
bar
would
and
be
we
there.
got drunk the rest
There
of the
it
night.
is.
The one over here.
So
way.
let's realize one thing.
That one's expensive, but it was really good craft beer. That one
I
less
wanna-
expensive.
I want to point out one
You know,
thing.
Bud Light shit.
Yeah.
You guys walking out and me paying attention to somebody else besides you guys are both equally egregious sins.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
was
we're
not paying
egotistical.
attention. I was not paying attention to you, my co-host, and my co-host walked out on the show.
Yeah, fuck you
So-
for making it not all about us.
So now that we are halfway through the show, I feel we can talk about this
All right,
now.
Cat, here on my lap.
We have, as a podcast, figured out what not to do.
Yep.
And
Not drop
so
the cat.
far, we have some listeners that have followed us. I don't know why,
I have no idea.
but those are my guys. Those are the people that I want to talk to, that I want to eventually, when I create a website for this show, I want to keep in contact with these guys because they are in it from the beginning, and I really don't know why they're listening, but I want to have a payoff for them, all 6 of them. I want to have a payoff. I want to have a payoff
Sorry, kidding.
for these guys. So
Thought we were more than 6. We're like 50.
we are halfway through our season, but I kind of like this show. I like our dynamic. I think we should grow a little bit, though.
I'm with it. You know, or you can just become a way better at it. Kidding.
Oh no! Like
you just make our shit palatable.
Oh,
no,
damn!
it is.
That was joking.
Wow, that was
But-
mean.
I'm kidding.
But-
It was almost a diss on us and him at the same time.
Do you
terrible.
know,
Just
like-
pick up
His
the best.
editing is rocks.
I'm kidding, man. He's probably the best thing on this show because he cuts us down to the point where we're palatable.
It
Yeah.
takes.
And what I was kidding about the joke was that you
We're
and
not
I.
good at this.
Yeah.
It takes me about 16
We're not-
hours to edit
that-
one of these shows.
We're not good at
I
this.
bet, man.
If I could
I
cut
bet we
my
are not
time,
succinct.
if
We have
we
snippets.
we can edit we could cut down my editing time to like an hour show to 2 hours.
Nah.
That's my goal,
Instead of
is to
16
get us
hours,
to
figures
a
out how to
point where
cut,
I don't have to
slice,
work that
nip.
hard.
Tuck. He's
All
a
right,
plastic surgeon
all
of
right,
our
all right.
conversation.
You're gonna make a shitload of money more than we will.
I'm a
because
lazy
we're
son of a
retarded.
bitch. So
Oh, God, we're
we have
retarded.
to get to a point where we're really good. I'm going to extend this to 13 episodes, but that
17.
one
17 and a
episode
half.
I have an idea
Midgets.
for. And for that
Midget.
one episode, we
17
are
and a
going to
half
be
is the
going
last
on a
episode
field
called
trip.
God, we're
So
doing that.
I need your parents to
Almost
sign
like
a
sex.
permission slip.
Tell the story one day.
Well, can I knock on your door again and go, hey, can Trevor come out and play?
No,
We were knocking on the door going, hey, can Trevor come out and play with shrooms? And you're like,
I don't shroom, dude.
yeah, well,
I don't
we could
shroom.
have had fun that night.
I don't
We
shroom.
ate shrooms
you
in
said
the
last
back
time we
alley.
did it that you were willing
Yeah,
to
we
do
did
this,
that.
and we were going to
Right
shoot him
here.
for the sake
Yeah,
of the
maybe.
podcast.
We walked
Maybe.
over and we recorded, mind you, us talking about Pomeranians and how they need to be footballs.
Nice.
And
How
you
we should
missed that
replace traditional footballs.
with
with
Pomeranians. And you missed that. That's you. That's all you. You missed that.
I can't wait for our next episode.
I cannot wait for our next episode.
Tom Brady just throwing a
Pomeranian.
Pomeranian across the field, and it's like, blick, and it just splats on him.
Oh shit.
Oh my god. You know how much money in economy that would be? It's not only Pomeranian breeding, it's also changing out uniforms and the economy of making new uniforms. So honestly, we're keeping the economy going by creating Pomeranian football.
Can I plan the next episode right now?
That's the thing.
Sure, yeah.
All right,
That
so
could be-
Sean,
I'm going to be too high and
No,
drunk to
Sean.
remember what the fuck you're talking about right now.
Sean, I have
I've
a
been
question.
a little drunk and high that I can't
So-
come back from.
Our next episode is going to go two ways. It's going to go. I have put a call out to the internet for tips and tricks
Oh,
for
shit,
the
that's coming.
newbie podcaster.
It
We
keeps
could either
going.
just discuss that, or we could listen to some unedited, raw, offensive, unprofessional footage that makes us sound really bad, and we can comment on it during the entire show.
Should next week we do our...
Like a
We should
best.
do the shroom. We haven't done the shroom thing yet, though.
Well, I
We have
think
That's the thing.
next
He's got to
week,
listen to it first, and then we've got to play it while we all comment on it. Remember, that'd be a good show.
should we play the
While we
worst?
talk about other topics, we each come up with the... Can you come up with topics? Never mind.
Okay, shut up. Hold on. First off, I'm gonna say shut up.
Yeah,
You
shut
know
up.
why?
I'll shut up.
Listen
All
to
right.
what we're gonna listen to us shrooming our brains out,
Yep, and
and
figure it out
we're
from
gonna
there.
talk about us, me and
Shrooming,
Matt,
yeah.
walking around the block,
Shrooming our brains out.
and we're gonna play it while we're doing our topic of us being retarded and talking about dumb shit as we're shrooming through the hills of Burbank. Is that a good idea?
I'd have
Yeah.
to hear the tape. I
Oh
don't.
God, no,
I-
no, it's uncensored.
I really don't want to glorify or advertise drug use.
We might air it later, once we get up past there, because once you get past a certain point, I don't think you'll care about the drug use thing. And I hope you don't, because I feel like it's not a taboo topic. All of us do it.
Well, I mean, I'm willing to talk
The Jesus Actor guy does it. I mean, what the fuck is your name, James?
I don't do mushrooms.
I know you're James. I was just hoping you
No,
know
no,
that.
yeah,
No, I
he
mean,
doesn't do
weed.
shrooms.
Yeah, I don't do
Weed.
I
shrooms.
keep trying to
Smoke
feed him
weeds.
to him,
I'm not that
and he
low.
won't do it.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
God. Make
man.
us feel bad about ourselves.
Oh my God.
Hey,
All right, you want to tell some ghost stories?
I had a crazy thing happen at work today.
Alright.
This happened at work today, and I was freaking out because I remember eventually we were talking about maybe some ghost stories today, for some reason, and so I was at work, and I work at a grocery store, And
Not only do you work at a grocery store, but you work at like one of the major grocery.
I work at a
stores.
major grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, like if you shop at a grocery store, no matter where you're at in America, you're probably
probably been to this
familiar
one.
with this brand.
With this grocery
Correct.
store, yes.
Correct.
And so I was doing, I had to do a trash run real quick. So I went to go take out the trash, and I had to go in the back room. And all of a sudden, I look on the floor, and there are 3 12-packs broken on the floor, and just beer everywhere. So there are
Alright.
3 12-packs of beer. They'd fallen,
Like bottles.
bottles broken, just beer everywhere. And so,
I'd be like, score. I get to like drink. Where's my big straw?
well, no, because you're working, so everything's on camera. You
Because
gotta,
I'm working, I'd want my big straw.
right. No, I totally hear you, man. I totally get it. But I was at beer, or I was at beer.
You were at beer.
No,
Yes.
I was working at the store, and so all of a sudden I'm like, man, what jackass just knocks over beer and just leaves it for somebody else to clean it up. And so I circled around it, I threw out my trash, and then I came back, and then I put the beer off to the side, the remainder of what was left that wasn't broken. And then I went, and I was just like, I want to find out what jackass did this. They should be reliable for cleaning this shit up.
Well, yeah.
So I went to my manager, and I said, hey, man, I said, somebody, they knocked over, a pallet, or, not a pallet, but, 3 12-packs of beer.
Right.
And it's a huge explosion on the floor in the back. So he said, okay, let's roll it up on the camera. So I said, okay. So we rolled it up, we pulled it up on the camera,
All right.
and sure enough, we saw what I saw, the beer on the floor.
Oh,
And then
shit. All right.
he was like, okay, let's rewind it and let's see who did this. So I'm like, okay. So we rewind it, and then, we see me go there, come back, whatever, and everything was rewound really quick. And then all of a sudden, like, we didn't see anybody else. So he's just like, this doesn't make sense. So then he slow-moed it, and he's like, oh, here it is. And it turned out the beer had just kind of tilted over by itself and fallen over.
Could it have been like somebody in the next aisle, like pushing, like?
Well, no,
over?
it was in the back room. So it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't in the store. It was in the back room by
Wait, so the
by
beer
the
just
trash
kind of like
compactor.
collapsed and fell over by itself.
Fell over by itself. And
Uh-huh.
so we're just like, whoa, this is.
And this was today on the
filmed
same day that a random cat has decided to show up while we're recording and like love on us.
Yes, exactly. So we checked the tape, and then all of a sudden we realized that the beer fell over by itself. So my manager and I are just like, whoa, this is freaking weird. So we rewound the tape through the whole entire day. And then all of a sudden we come to the guy that stocked the beer,
Mm-hmm.
the distributor, and he was the last one to upload it. Now, of course, he uploaded it too high,
Okay.
but keep in mind, this was 10 hours ago that he loaded the beer that
Nice.
high. So did we have a little earthquake? Is the store haunted in Hollywood? Because I work in Hollywood. Or did a truck drive by or something and just kind of roll it? But you got to realize we're in a grocery store, which is solid cement. You know what I mean? Those stores are built really firm. So
I'm gonna go with everything is explainable through science, and there are some sound frequencies which could cause vibrations, which could cause things to fall off shelves.
they could.
There are some sound frequencies which could actually cause hallucinations. I think every ghost sighting, every paranormal thing can be proven to be a bit of science or some kind of sound vibration. I don't believe paranormal activity really exists. I think there is a scientific explanation for everything, and I think that is what we should be looking for, not for dead grandparents coming back.
See, that's where I agree to disagree.
Fair enough.
Now, so basically, I went and I told a few coworkers this, right? And they're just like, dude, they're like, James, they're like, did you know right before the store opened up that a truck had run over a homeless guy while they were building our store and killed him. The truck just ran over a homeless guy and just kept going, and it killed him. And that happened in the alley, which is right where the beer is now. Then I told another coworker, totally different guy. And he's like, dude, did you talk to the guy that works in the freezer? And I said, no, what did the guy in the freezer say? He said he left his cell phone camera because he kept hearing weird kind of noises or something coming from the freezer, and he was working on the freezer, and there was nothing going around, right? So he set up his cell phone, hit record, and left for 10 minutes. Came back, got his cell phone, all the lights were on. When he came back, they were all off. When he checked his cell phone to see what he saw a little white pattern just cross the camera real quick, and then all the lights shut off.
Have you seen this footage?
No, I have not. And the guy that has the
Can
footage...
we get a copy of it?
The guy that has the footage no longer works there.
Do you have his name?
Yes.
Let's get the guy's name.
All right.
And let's get to the bottom of the footage. Let's find out what's happening. Let's release this footage online. Let's get some opinions. Let me take a look at it.
I don't know. I really believe that ghosts are real. You know, I had another experience too where I was, my friends and I, we were obsessed with the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood, and there was a whole show on haunted hotels in Hollywood, and the Roosevelt came up as one. So my friends and I, we decided we wanted to test it. So what did we do? We went to the Roosevelt, and it turned out on the 3rd floor there was a man that ended up murdering his daughter, and this happened back like in the 50s. And so we found that room. It was really easy to find because...
Do you remember the room number?
I don't remember it. But the thing about it was that what do you call it? So there's only like 12 rooms on the Roosevelt on each floor. So the reason why we found out what room it was because I want to say it was like 303 or something. It was it was like right when you enter. It was like right there, and when you look on the carpet of all the other rooms, they're all brand new, and the carpet down the halls were all brand new. So this one room had this old ruggedy carpet, and it turned out the door was older looking than all the other rooms. It didn't have the slide card. It had like a key lock on it. I mean, this room was completely different. So my friends and I, we were bored, and we started banging on the door. Then we said, come out wherever you are.
Why did you do that?
Because we were bored.
And so you knocked on room 303.
Yes.
And you said, come out wherever you are.
Yes. Or something like that, you know. I mean, it was 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
We said, come out and play, I think maybe is what we said.
That's 303.
Okay. Well, recently they've redone it, and they re-rented the room. But for, this is like 20 years ago, the room... So basically what happened is all of a sudden the janitor came up. You know, not because we were banging on the wall, but just randomly.
But I mean, like...
We had hung out in that hallway by that door for over an hour.
My question is this, like, so you knock on the door and you say, come out wherever you are. Like,
or
what...
Come out, I think it was more like, come out and play.
Well, what made you think that the hotel was haunted enough where you can like knock on the door and be like, come out and play? Like what were you doing like before that? Because like, I mean, just knocking on the door and be like, come out and play, ghost.
We were there to find it.
There's something before that happened that made you think that this hotel was haunted.
Well, yeah, because it was
come out and play would even work.
Well, we didn't know if it would work, but we went there because my friend who was obsessed with haunted hotels, we went there because she said, I found out this is haunted. That's right. She knew the hotel room. She knew where it was. She had done her homework. You know, the show revealed everything. And then it says it's still to this day the exact way that it was 40 years ago or whatever when that murder happened.
So you were there to tease a ghost.
We were there to tease a ghost.
How did that work out?
Well, it got pretty interesting. So pretty much...
You don't want to tease a ghost. If the ghosts are real, man, you don't want to tease them.
Oh, yeah, we wanted to play with it. We wanted to get the full effect on, you know, how real the ghost was. So we ended up, banging on the door. Then eventually a janitor or someone came up.
Mhm.
And we asked him, we said, hey, we heard that this room's haunted. And we said, do you have the key? Can we go in? And the janitor was like, really, this is haunted? And he got excited about it. So he said, let me check. And they went through all of his keys, and he didn't have the key to that room. Supposedly what happened is about 40 years before we were there was a maid who went in there to clean the room. She got locked into that room in the closet, and she was found a day later. She was
Found
still alive, locked in the closet.
Okay.
She was alive.
Okay.
And then after that, they locked the door so nobody would ever go in there again and threw away the key.
And you believe...
And that was on the show.
You believe this to be a paranormal story that is true?
Yes.
All right. And you know the room number, or you were able to get the room number,
At
correct?
that time, yeah, like I said, this was 20 years ago.
So, if I was able to make a reservation for that room number, and we were able to spend the night in there,
Yes.
would you be willing to record a podcast that evening from that room?
Totally. Oh, it would be so much fun.
Alright, so
Yeah.
what just happened here is my screen door. We are sitting
Just
outside.
randomly open.
We are sitting outside of
Oh
my
my gosh.
apartment right now, and my screen door just opened up enough for my
light.
the light with the motion
The
sensor,
motion sensor
to
light to
come on.
Oh my gosh. This is freaky.
I'm like, I'm done.
That's
So
Always leave them wanting.